Scorpio, April begins with a kind of intensity that doesn't immediately show on the outside. You feel it underneath. Something is shifting, and not in small, gradual ways, but in a way that makes you look closer. Things that used to feel stable suddenly feel different, even if nothing has visibly changed yet. This comes from a strong Aries influence, bringing fast, direct energy that pushes things forward. For you, that means processes that usually stay beneath the surface start rising more quickly. You can't rely on sorting everything out internally before reacting anymore. The themes want to be seen. In everyday life, this shows up subtly, but clearly. You notice more. You feel more. You pick up on shifts faster. Conversations may seem normal on the surface, but you can tell when something isn't being said, and instead of ignoring that, you start paying attention. That's where your growth begins. In love, this becomes very real. If you're in a relationship, things come up that may have been there for a while, but were never fully spoken about. This isn't really about conflict. It's about honesty. You want to know where you stand, and you're no longer satisfied with unclear or partial answers. That changes your conversations. They become deeper, more direct, more intense. This can strengthen the connection, if both of you are willing to go there. But it can also reveal where things aren't as stable as they seemed. The key shift is this: you're no longer interested in surface-level connection. If you're single, your perception sharpens too. You can feel very quickly whether something has real depth or if it's just temporary attraction. At the same time, things move faster. Connections form more easily. Conversations deepen quickly. But that's exactly why you need to take your time. Not everything that starts strong is truly meaningful. In your work life, April becomes more significant than it first appears. You start noticing changes, even if they're not obvious yet. Structures shift, priorities adjust, or you realize you want to approach something differently. These realizations don't come loudly, but they're clear, and you can't ignore them anymore. Financially, your awareness sharpens too. You quickly see where things feel out of balance, where you're investing more than you're getting back, or where something no longer fits your current situation. That leads you to make more conscious decisions. A central theme this month is control. You're used to going deep, understanding everything, figuring things out internally. But April shows you that control doesn't always mean understanding everything. Sometimes it means allowing something to unfold and responding to it. Emotionally, things intensify as well. Not necessarily outwardly, but internally, a lot is happening. You become more aware of what affects you, what distances you, and where you may have been holding yourself back. And that leads you to take a clearer position, even if you don't express it immediately. Around the middle of the month, these themes intensify. Situations become clearer, conversations more direct, and you may feel like you can't avoid things anymore. This is where your growth happens. You don't need to protect yourself by pulling away. You can stand in clarity. Another important theme is trust. You become more sensitive to who you trust and why. You recognize more quickly whether that trust is justified, and that may lead you to adjust your direction, not impulsively, but decisively. Your relationship with closeness also shifts. You don't just want connection. You want something real, something meaningful, and that may lead you to distance yourself from surface-level interactions. Another shift happens around decisions. You're not someone who decides lightly, but now you may notice that hesitation is holding you back more than it's protecting you. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know what feels right for you, and that makes a difference. Your awareness of energy becomes clearer too. You feel more quickly where you're losing energy and where you're gaining it, and because of that, you become more selective. Another important theme is your inner truth. You can't ignore it this month. You notice quickly when you're not being honest with yourself, or when you're holding on to something that no longer fits. That's not always comfortable, but it's real, and it moves you forward. Your relationship with expectations shifts too. You're less willing to play roles that no longer feel like you, and that may lead you to step back from certain situations or approach them differently, not out of resistance, but out of clarity. As the month unfolds, you'll notice subtle but powerful changes. You react differently, you decide differently, and you use your energy more consciously. These shifts aren't loud, but they're undeniable. Toward the end of the month, things begin to settle, not externally, but within you. You've recognized what matters, you've made internal decisions, and you feel clearer about what's right for you. Another important shift shows up in your everyday decisions, not just the big ones, but the small moments. You begin to question things more quickly. Why am I saying yes to this? Why am I holding on to this? Why am I continuing something that doesn't feel right anymore? And that awareness changes your behavior. You become more honest with how you use your energy, not harsh, just real. You notice what strengthens you, what drains you, and where you've been adjusting for too long. And because of that, you become more intentional. This also shows in your interactions. You're not just listening to words anymore. You're paying attention to tone, to reactions, to what isn't being said. That makes you sharper, more aware, and in the end, more stable. Not because you're controlling everything, but because you trust what you feel. Scorpio, this month isn't challenging you because you're weaker. It's challenging you because you're going deeper. And that is exactly where your strength is. If this resonates with you and you want more insights like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel.